the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Monday night Red Light Scrambler series right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight's going to be race 1 here of the chase. We're right here at the ISM Raceway. Going to be 100 laps the distance here tonight. In the booth here, though, like always, Roger Muth right alongside the newcomer here, Jarrett Riker, going to be bringing you the calls here tonight. Jarrett, it's a little short track here, only 1 mile in distance here tonight.
Yeah, it should be some great racing here tonight, Roger. Thanks for letting me tag along here in the booth.
Yeah, it's always going to be a great time, especially when the Red Light Scrambler series gets onto the track here. Tonight, like I said, is round 1 here of the chase. These guys out here, they mix it up every week. And this week it is the trucks, as you see right there, that man on screen, the 01 and the Tabasco Silverado. That's Richard Murdoch, and he has the quickest time right now out there with a 25.636 second lap. Couple other guys out there like, well, that man, that's Max Terriot in the 42. He came in after having a good run last week, just not enough time to park that 42. Or correction, he did park that 42. A wrong stat we read here, but hey, it is the chase. All those points that they gathered all last, through the first handful of races means nothing now. Everybody's reset. Like we said, it's the first race. Everybody reset to 1,000 points.
That's right, Roger. It's basically a brand new start to the season.
Brand new start to the season. 7 rounds for the chase here. We're going to race 2 races, this one and one next week, before we cut the field down to 10 drivers. So it's going to be important to try and get here tonight through the ISM Raceway. If we can just have a good race here, short track, tempers can flare sometimes, but you got to get through here, and then you got to get through your next event. Next week's event is over at the Texas Motor Speedway. Everything's bigger in Texas. They're going to run the Xfinity cars, a little more horsepower next week. But like we said, this week, a late entry here into the lobby. We were wondering when the 33 of Eric Johnson was going to join us. Well, the answer to that is going to be 2 minutes before we hit to the qualifying session. So we do thank everybody, though, for tuning in here tonight. It is a Monday night right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network to watch the Red Light Scrambler series. Just taking a peek through the stats here. The man who's sitting on pit road right now, though, in P4 here in practice, that's the 88, is Sean Butler, as we still continue to watch Max Terriot. There's not too many drivers out there on track just yet. Sean Butler, though, dominated the first half of the season. He walked into the chase here, having 3 wins out of the 7 starts that he had raced. So he has a good chance here to put down a good showing here at the chase. You see it right there, just about a minute and 10 seconds before we head into qualifying here. We're going to play the national anthem. We're going to bring you live qualifying action right here on your Turn 3 Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
welcome back here, race fans. Qualifying just underway, and that man right there on the track, number 2 of Joshua Buckley, the first one out here onto the track to try and set down a quick time here. Josh Buckley had a top 10 mock qualifying run in his practice. Let's see if he can retain some of that speed here in qualifying. You see him right down there in turns 3 and 4, right down around that yellow line, trying to get those left side tires down there to get a little forward bite, a little bit of more turn out of the car. Let's see where Buckley's going to go, obviously, to P1, but he lays down a time here of 25.689, and he's not going to have a second lap, so lap 1 going to be all it is for Josh Buckley. Sean Butler is out here also. Remember, we talked about Sean Butler having the most wins this season so far. He has one more than Max Terriol, but Sean Butler right now, he's on the clock here. This will be his first time lap as he works through 3 and 4 in that Patriots 88 machine. Let's see where Sean's going to go, because a couple other guys have already put in their qualifying time. Sean Butler straight to the top of the board. He goes up to the top with 25.628. Now, he doesn't sit there very long, Jarrett. It looks like somebody knocked him off.
Yeah, that would be Richard Murdoch. He looked great in practice. Definitely setting a fast time here in qualifying.
Yeah, there it is on the left-hand side of the screen. There are your guys who have put in your qualifying attempts, and the rest of the field there that's still waiting to put in a time. So Murdoch to the top of the board. Let's just see as he comes off turn number 4 here to complete his second lap in qualifying. Let's see if he can do any better. A little bit slower on his second lap. He went on a 25.8. Jesse Baker now rolling off pit road here in that Monster 909 Tundra. You notice a couple of these guys out there with 9s in front of their numbers. That's going to indicate to you here as the viewer that those are the rookies of this season right now. Jesse Baker is shown as one of those rookies, so he's on his get-up-to-go lap. One of the drivers who is a rookie, though, right now, who has a 6th place qualifying run here, trying to come out of turn number 4 here to complete his second lap. That's going to be the 943 Joe Strano. Strano goes a little bit quicker, actually, but doesn't able to better his position. He goes with a 25.783. Still a good qualifying attempt. It does look like the 33 here of Eric Johnson, after having such a disappointing run last week from the Pocono Raceway, comes into the night trying to maybe a little more redemption. Let's see how he goes on his second lap. He's 11th right now on the board. And it looks like he's going to go just a little bit slower on lap number 2. He'll stay there in the 11th position. Last week's winner, the 42 here at Max Terriol. He is sitting P6. Last week, he won that strategy play from Pocono, and right now, 6th place is a good starting spot here at a little short track. Let's see if he's going to be able to better himself here on lap number 2. Just a little bit slower, it looks there on the second lap, so he's going to go P number 6 for the time being. James Skelton, though, coming out of pit road here in that 86 machine. We still got 6 minutes to go here in our qualifying session, but a lot of drivers have already got in a qualifying attempt. 14 out of the, I believe it was 20 drivers, if I'm not mistaken. Was that right, Jared? Was there 20 drivers registered into the night?
I believe it was 19 or 20. Yeah, you're in the ballpark there, Roger.
Well, I always like to be in the ballpark. Right now, James Skelton, though, he's going to be on the clock here. It looks like Christopher Rothrock just finished up his qualifying attempt. He went to the 12th starting spot. See if Rothrock can hang on to 12th, or can James Skelton here come out and bump him down another position. Looks like David Camaro was out on track there on the 972. He attempted to make a qualifying run. I believe he may have got into the wall just a little bit, because it's showing that he was out there. As actually, look at James. He goes P8 first lap out there. But David Camaro doesn't look like he's going to come back out on track to try and take at least one crack at it. There is one driver sitting on pit road, and actually looks like James Skelton. He's just going to shut it down, one and done for the 86 here of James. Leo Bordage is out there in the number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry. Yeah, Tundra out here. He is sitting 15th on the board. He actually already has both of his timed laps in tonight, but he's out here just gathering a little bit of practice runs, if you can. continue to watch Leo Brodage out here, or Bordage, sorry, Bordage is still out here. Nobody else looking like they're going to come out here on the track, as actually possibly there goes the number 11 down pit road. Let's see if we can get a quick word in here with the driver of the 01, Richard Murdoch, who has the quickest time here in the qualifying session. Murdoch, you got a copy. It's Roger here in the booth.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Richard, it looks like you have a good qualifying time out there. You went with a 25.596. That's one of the fastest laps we've seen here all night. Track temp starting to go down here as the night goes on.
Yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to. I do fairly well with the hot laps. I do decent with the long runs, so we'll see how we do when we all get bunched up together and racing. If we can get some long green flag runs here, or if it ends up being what short tracks could turn into is a bunch of short stints.
Yeah, you said it. We talked about it earlier in the pre-race that this is only a 1 mile track here, and especially with this open dog leg, you can kind of cut a little bit of that mileage off there. How do you think tonight's going to go? It is only a short race. It's a short track, 100 laps.
Honestly, it's hard to tell. Being the first race of the playoffs, everybody's definitely trying to get to the front. Hopefully we could just stay off of each other and get some good clean runs in. We did a good practice run last night and had a few minor incidents, but nothing major. Definitely have the ability to have some good long runs here.
Yeah, you can make the long runs, but talk about that dog leg back there on the backstretch. Turn number 2, there's a dog leg there. Does cutting that dog leg really help a driver that much?
It definitely can. It definitely can, especially if you get a good run off of 1 and you're able to dive it down in there steep. You just got to be careful before you get in a 3 to get back up there close to the wall so you can get a good run on 3, or they're just going to cross you over and get underneath you in 3. So you can gain a lot from it, but it can also hurt you. You just got to play it smart.
Yeah, Tony Stranza, though, out there on track. He puts the number 3 P10 for the time being. No, doesn't look like any other driver. Maybe Tim Blum yet actually is going to come out here. But Richard, as we have you here a little bit, tell us about your season so far here, coming into the chase.
It's been a good season for me for the most part, as long as I was able to keep my car clean. I had a couple second-place finishes and I think a third-place finish. My worst one was Talladega. Got caught up in an early wreck and finished 26th, but I've been consistently in the top 10, so it's been a strong season, and hopefully we can capitalize that and keep it going in the playoffs. My teammates at Full Throttle Racing, Tim, Ryan, and Brandon, we work together and to make the best car that we can, and just help each other out so we can all be successful.
Yeah, a lot of top 10 finishes so far here for you this season. 1 win, 1 pole, 4 top 5s, and 6 top 10s, actually, it's telling me here on Dan Lisa. So you got a bunch of good stats here, and try and keep that rolling here as we head into ISM here for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I appreciate it.
Well, there you heard it from the driver who comes in tonight in good standings and with the quickest lap. As there you see Tim Blum out there. He not going to elect to take a qualifying time. So that's going to put Richard Murdoch, Sean Butler, Josh Buckley, Ethan Troutman, your top 4 drivers here in qualifying. So with just over a minute left here, Jarrett, what are you looking forward to here tonight?
Looking forward to see how strategies play out. About 35 to 40 laps, green flag runs on fuel mileage. See if any late cautions come out, change up strategies a little bit. Should be a good race tonight.
Yeah, you talk about that strategy there as we're going to take a quick peek here at the track facts. Obviously, ISM is not a complete circle bull ring style track. It does have 4 corners. It is 1 mile in length. Qualifying here you do see was 2 laps for 2 miles. Track temp, though, air temp, both sitting down there around that cool 70 degrees marker. 9 mile per hour, 8 mile per hour wind out of the east. So we probably won't see the wind play such a big factor here from ISM, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. But as you were talking about the fuel mileage game, 1 caution, 2 cautions could also set this up into maybe a 1 pit stop race. You're probably going to see a lot of guys, if we get a caution, though, 4 tires. I think that's going to be the way to go here tonight. But looks like we're just going to be taking the checkered flag here in just a second. That's going to lead us straight into gridding of the cars here tonight for the 100-lap race at ISM. So as these guys start to grid up these Gander Outdoor Truck Series trucks for round number 1, as they grid up, it is a short track, so let's see if we can walk you through your qualifying grid here tonight. Snatching the pole here in the 01, you heard from him. We talked to him just a moment ago, and that's going to be the 01 there, Richard Murdoch. Sean Butler's going to fire off that Toyota there in second. Third starting spot here tonight, going to go to the 2 here of Joshua Buckley. Ethan Troutman in the 968, going to be the highest qualified rookie of the year. He'll start 4th. 5th, going to go to the 81 of Patrick Orr, and last week's winner, Max Terrell in the 42, starting 6th. 7th, going to go to Joe Strano, and right alongside him, the 86 of Skellin. Ryan Oldani going to start that 98 machine in 9th, and starting 10th, rounding out that top 10, going to be the number 3 of Tony Strano.
And rolling off in the 11th spot, Tyler DiVincenzo in the 983, and then next to him in 12th spot, Jesse Baker in the 909. Rolling off in 13th, Brandon Minto in the number 20. Then next to him, you got Christopher Rothrock in the 84. And last week, oh so close to winning, number 33, Eric Johnson in the 15th spot. Rolling off in the 16th spot, you got Leo Bordage in the number 11. In the 17th spot, you have Kyle Souza in the number 4. Number 10 is Tim Blum, rolling off 18th. Andy Lee in the 25, rolling off 19th. And last but not least, 972 David Camara rolling off 20th to round out your starting grid.
There's your starting grid here tonight for the Red Light Scrambler Series. It's going to be round 1 here. Coming to you live on your Turn 3 Racing Network. It does seem like the lights are out on the pace car, so I might believe this is a 1 lap till we go green. So we do thank everybody once again here for tuning in tonight to watch the Red Light Scrambler Series round 1, about to fire off here in just a moment. And that's the man who will be out front. That will be the 01 Richard Murdoch, as there goes the pace car. Makes the left-hand turn off turn 4. It's down pit road. Now we're just going to wait for the green flag here. Murdoch and the Butler start P1 and 2, and there it is. There's the green flag. We're going to go racing for the first round here of the Red Light Scrambler Series playoffs, as you see everybody give each other room as they head down into turn number 1. Murdoch had the inside advantage. Somebody sideways. I believe that's Joe Strano back there in the 943. He was sideways. Look at everybody fan out through that dog leg.
Oh, 3, 4 wide coming through that dog leg.
Looked like about 4 wide back there behind Strano, and actually there's still 3 wide just a little bit farther back. I believe that was Bordage back there. He was 3 wide with Rothrock and Blum as they kind of worked it out. Brodage going to take the position for the time being. Then it's Rothrock. Then it's going to be David Camara. That's 15, 16, and 17. Look at it there. There's 3 wide, just about 4 wide. Sideways, going to go Baker out of turn number 1. Heavy contact there with the inside wall. Well, we got 2 laps here in the books, but the 909, Jesse Baker going around, and that is hard contact, and I believe I see some smoke out of the back end of that machine.
I'll tell you what, they're getting aggressive here in the early laps.
Yeah, a little aggressive. Let's take a look back here on our replay. This happened on lap number 2, going through turn 1. There you see the monster 909 machine there of Baker as he goes back through. Doesn't look like any oh, that left front wheel. You saw it getting right down there on the apron, and that went around on him. So just that little bit there as he put that left front down there. It's kind of like playing Russian roulette. Jesse Baker going around here, finding the inside wall. There you see as he's going to come down pit road. Heavy damage and a lot of smoke bellowing out of the back of that 909. See if we can get a word in with Jesse Baker here in just a moment. But now the question is, will Sean Butler elect to come down pit road, or will he stay out here? But as we work under the caution, let's take a quick see if we can get a quick word in here. Jesse Baker. Baker, you got a copy. It's Roger here in the booth.
Yeah, I got you there.
Well, we heard somebody in the background yelling, wait, wait, wait. What exactly happened there, though, coming off turn number 2, or turn 1, actually?
Looked like it bunched up a little bit, and then I slammed on the brakes, and the back end came around on me.
Yeah, so a lot of damage here, possibly, or I shouldn't say possibly, a lot of damage is on that 909 machine as we see you down there in pit road. How much damage do you have on that machine, and will you be able to get back out on track?
I'm going to try. I got almost 10 minutes of damage.
Is that 10 minutes required?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage there on that monster 909 machine there for Jesse Baker. Well, Jesse, hopefully you can get back out there, turn a couple laps. We know it is the first round here of the playoffs here at ISM. I don't believe you actually made the cut. No, I don't see your name out there. But every point's going to matter for the final when they tally them up at the end of the season here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Jesse, try to get back out there, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Well, there you heard it. Just a little bit of a bunch up, and, well, that allowed, or made the 909 there of Jesse Baker go around. Things like that can happen here real early, Jared.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're 4 wide in the dog leg in the opening laps. Things can happen quick.
But it does look like the lights on the pace car are going to go out here, so we're going to go back green flag racing rather quickly here. It's going to be lap number 6. The lead is back here. Green is going to be Sean Butler to the inside. Murdoch going to take the outside here on the restart. It's going to be Max Terriault right there in your 3rd spot with Josh Buckley in 4th. James Skelton is up to 5th, and Patrick Orr is rounding out your 6th position. So a lot of aggressive drivers here. You kind of expect that when you come here to ISM. When these drivers are able to go down there below that yellow line, if you will, there is no out of bounds here. If they want to go down there and kiss the wall with the left front fender of these trucks, they're going to be able to do that. Probably not going to recommend it. Well, it might mess up the aerodynamics a little bit of the truck, might make it tight. But if they wanted to do it, they could do it. And, well, how about talking about doing it here? We're going to go back green flag racing. There is the pace car down and away. Sean Butler to the inside. Richard Murdoch on the outside. They hold him back there for a long time. It looks like the 88 of Butler, though, got a better restart over that 01 machine. Looks like a pretty good clean turn 1 there, going through turn 2. Doesn't look like anybody's pushing it 3 wide. 2 wide throughout the field, though. Out front, it is Sean Butler, followed by Max Terriault and Richard Murdoch hanging right to his right rear quarter panel. But, I was going to say for a moment the 42 had a good run, but hey, look at Richard Murdoch. He really has the outside wound up there off turns 3 and 4 as they go back down into turn number 1. Looks like this time Max Terriault, they're going to get the better run. Look at Josh Buckley go way down there through the dog leg.
3-4 wide again. And almost 3 wide going into turn 3.
Yeah, the mid-pack guys still shuffling for position. It looks like you got to go back to about the 10th position before we find the first side-by-side battle, and that was with David Camara and the number 10 here with Tim Blum. Both those drivers are going to settle it out, but the 20 of Minto right in front of Camara are going to go up the track in turn 1, so that'll open the door. Here comes David Camara. How about the 3 of Tony Strano, though? He's way down there like we talked about, just about kissing that left front fender off that inside wall. He's back here. He's trying to come through the field right now to the inside on Joe Strano, so it's Strano for 13th. Strano for 14th. Who's going to win the battle here of the Stranos right now? Joe Strano holding on with that that Camping World Good Sam 943. As they're going to go 3 wide back here. 3 wide, Strano to the inside. Then it's going to be Lee in the middle and Strano way up top. Tony Strano making the move. He's going to, right now, looks like he passes Joe Strano, and now he's still working on Andy Lee, or maybe Andy Lee is working on him. Lee is coming through the field here. Didn't have a good qualifying start. He started back there about the 18th position. Already finds himself up inside your top 15. So nothing happening out front as we're watching about the mid-pack. This is about your closest battles on track right now. Actually, David Camara looking to the inside here. If he can get Tim Blum, that's the battle for the 8th and 9th position.
Talking about coming through the field, Roger, David Camara started in 20th, and he's already up to 9th place.
David Camara, tick-tock clocks on the side of that truck. Tick-tock is it. We're already 10 laps in here from, I want to say Phoenix. We all know it as Phoenix, but it's ISM. Well, somebody sideways towards the back. I think the 33 going around off turn 4. 33's around. Leo Brodage involved. It looks like Andy Lee and Kyle Souza also. So a big pile up here on lap number 11. We're going to have to throw it back to the replay. We might have to watch this one a handful of times here. It all started right with Andy Lee as they come through the dog leg down into 3. There you see Souza on the out, or not Souza, that is actually Strano to the outside, but here comes the 25 of Lee. Looks like he just gets loose, and oh, there's the 33, Johnson, nowhere to go for Eric Johnson, nowhere to go for Leo Brodage, and well, or Bordage, and nowhere definitely for Souza. Souza, I believe, also has some engine damage. He had to tow that one back to pit road. We're going to go back and watch this one more time, but here's the thing. We're going to go on board with Souza. Here's your gyro cam with Kyle Souza. See the wreck happen in front of him. He gets off the gas, nowhere to go as Andy Lee is sitting dead smack middle of the track. There you heard the motor expire on the number 4. Nowhere for him to go. So he's down pit road with a bunch of damage. Here comes all your leaders on lap number 13. So 3 trucks involved here in the yellow. That's Eric Johnson, Leo Bordage. Yeah, Eric Johnson, Leo Bordage, Andy Lee, and Kyle Souza. So 4-car wreck towards mid-pack here. There you see everybody down pit road. Sean Butler going to hit his spot. There is Josh Buckley. He hits his. Richard Murdoch also hitting his spot in the 01 Tabasco machine. Nobody electing to stay out here to try and lead a lap. The first man down off the jack, though, that's going to be David Camara. We'll have to see where he comes through this timing scoring. Looks like it's going to be Max Terriot, though, winning the race off pit road, followed by Sean Butler, Richard Murdoch. Then it's kind of a gaggle back here. James Skelton going to come off 4th. Josh Buckley losing a position here on pit road. He'll come out in your 5th spot. Then it's Christopher Rothrock, Patrick Orr, Tim Blum, and the new guy out here tonight, the 983, Tyler D. Van Enzo. I probably got that wrong, didn't I, Jared?
Yeah, I believe you did, but I'm not sure I could say it any better there, Roger.
Well, we're going to call him TD back here in that 983 machine. He runs 9th and rounding out your top 10. Ethan Troutman won 2 weeks ago. Now he sits in the 10th spot. David Camara actually dropped out of the top 10 as he just... Sorry, he just got inside the top 10. He'll lose it on pit road, but lights are out on the pace car. Max Terriot, your leader. So as the lights are out, we'll go back racing here on lap 16. Almost about a quarter of the way through this one. Just before you know, blink of an eye at the short track, we will be right there. Looks like Leo Bordage, though, is going to wrap up the number 11. He'll put it in the hauler. Jesse Baker also, it looks like, has retired from this event. So 2 drivers down and out already. That leaves us with 18. And actually, that takes us down to 16 because Andy Lee and Kyle Souza both with engine damage and sitting on pit road. Pace car down and away, and there it is. There's the green flag out here. Lap number 16 about to start. Look at that 42 getting a big bump there from the 01, but Sean Butler has the nose as they go down into turn 1. David Kamara, I think, is sideways towards mid-pack. Kamara up into the outside catch fence, bringing along a couple other drivers. Ryan O'Danny also involved in this. And I think, oh boy, there is the number 3. Tony Strano pointed the wrong direction with that good wrench Silverado. We're going to have to go back on a replay. Probably have to dissect this one just like the last one. Let's take a peek at it from over top. There you see a big checkup to the outside there as they go down into the corner. David Camara, looks like just what happened to Jesse Baker. Puts that left front down there on the apron. And then the truck just hooks back across the track he goes. He gets Ryan O'Danny involved in that one. Joe Strano actually got a little bit of a piece of that, along with Tony. As you see, Tony pointed the wrong direction. Ryan's able to drive that 98 machine away from the scene of the incident. But looks like maybe a little bit of front-end damage on that 98 machine. We'll try and get a word in with a couple of these drivers here in just a moment. But back under caution here right away. That's something you kind of expect here, Jarrett, when you come to a short track. Things like that can happen real quick.
Oh yeah, especially in these short tracks. You get below that apron, yeah, it's hard to save it then.
Everybody's probably asking out there what happened, what really happened there with David Camara. I mean, it's the second time now we've seen a driver do it. There's the banking in turn 1, and then there's the apron of turn 1. That yellow line out there on the track kind of tells the drivers where the banking is versus where the flat ground is. Turn 1, yes, doesn't have a lot of banking out here at Phoenix, but it's just enough that when you put that left front tire, the left rear tire down there on the apron, it's the transition. The truck is gonna want to go around.
Right, there is no out of bounds here, but when you go below the yellow line onto the apron, you find out of bounds real fast.
And we talk about the apron and that yellow line. As you know, we talked about it earlier in qualifying. We saw a couple guys down below the yellow line in turns 3 and 4 to try and get a little more turn out of their truck. You can do that in turn 3 and 4 because it is a flatter turn when you're on the racing surface. And it's pretty much equal when you're down there on the flat. So times like that, down in 3 and 4, it won't hurt as much. So it looks like, if I'm reading it right, David Camara going to pack up that machine. Too much damage for the 972 of David Camara, so he'll head to the hauler. He'll head early to next week's event, along with the 33 of Eric Johnson. And Tony Strano also going to take her to the house here tonight.
That's a real shame. Kamara had a real strong truck here in the beginning, coming from 20th all the way up to the top 10.
Yeah, but we do have one of the 4 drivers who were wrapped up in that one still out there in this event. See if we can get a word in here with Joe Strano and the 943 machine. Joe, how much damage done to that truck?
I had about 30 seconds of required repairs and about 3.5 minutes of optional.
So the truck's still going to be able to roll out there. It doesn't look like it's too tore up, actually.
Yeah, we'll see how much speed I got. I mean, I don't want to mess up anybody up at the front of the pack, so if I don't got enough speed to keep her going at a decent pace, I'll probably be backing out here.
Well, it looks like a couple drivers already taking it to the house, so a good finish could still be in order if you can keep that 943 out there and rolling around the track here tonight.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I just missed the playoff by 1 point, so I'd still like to put in a competition for everybody else here, so we'll see what I can do for the rest of the night here.
Alrighty, well, hey, good luck out there, Joe, and maybe we can get to watch it to the end of this one, finish it out good.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
Well, Joe Strano going to get that good Sam Camping World truck back out on track. He's right now only shown 2 laps down, but he's running right there in that 12th position, so he still has time to have a good run here as the pace cars are going to duck in. Sean Butler, Max Terriot coming back to the green flag here. Well, lap number 21 has now started. And it's been a rough one out there, Jared, as they go down in turn 1.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple restarts here as they fan out almost 3 wide going through 2 again.
Yeah, as you see him all fanning out down through the dog leg into turn number 3. He's going to lead him down there. That'll be the 42. Max Terriot has the lead. Sean Butler is second. Richard Murdoch, though, he's third. James Skelton hanging on right now for that 4th position. Buckley sits there 5th as they're still side-by-side battling. Right. Oh, Butler sideways in front of the field. Butler is sideways. He's around. He's going to tag. It looks like that's TD getting involved in that one, too. So cautions breed cautions here at the short tracks. Now Sean Butler looks like that maybe that yellow line played a factor in him. We're going to have to go back and take this replay and go over top and see what exactly happened here to the driver of the 88, Sean Butler. Oh, it looks like he actually got a piece of the back bumper of the 42 machine into the corner hard. He's going to bounce off the 81 there, Patrick Orr, and then along with him, Tyler in that 983 gets involved, and I think that's Christopher Rothrock also getting a little piece of that there, and that looks like that's that Paul Jr. Ross Chastain machine.
Yeah, it looks like the 88 just drove in a little too hard going down into 1. Just couldn't hang on to it.
As you're on board right here, Christopher Rothrock, you see it all happen in front of him. He thought he was going to be clear, and then out of nowhere, he didn't even see the 88 truck come back up the track, tags him in the left rear, and, well, he goes around. Doesn't look like Chris Rothrock has that much damage done to that Paul Jr.'s design as everybody back down pit road here. They're going to put 4 fresh tires. I'm just looking back through the field here. You can barely see the 88 as he enters pit road. He's got a lot of damage on that 88 machine. It's going to be a wonder if he can now keep the pace here tonight. So everybody down pit road here once again. We're going to see who can win this battle off pit road. It looks like Max Terriot going to be the one to do it in his box for only a 13.9 second pit stop. So a really good pit stop by the 42 bunch. And it's Richard Murdoch coming out of pit road P2. Josh Buckley is third. Patrick Orr got a little right front damage on that 81 Snickers machine, but he's sitting pretty good in B number 4. 5 is going to be the 86 James Skelton. Tim Blum coming to the front. Remember, he didn't get a qualifying time in as he actually hit the wall in qualifying and elected just to shut her down and started at the back of the field here. Now up to 6th. Ethan Troutman is 7th. Brandon Minto is 8th with Christopher Rothrock sitting there with that little bit of damage on his machine, but he's going to keep it rolling. He is 9th and sitting 10th on pit road right now, the 88 of Sean Butler. Looks like he's going to come out just in front of the pace car. Let's see if we get a word in with Sean Butler. Butler, you got a copy. It's Roger up here in the booth.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Sean, definitely not the night that you want to have here to start the playoffs. What happened going down there into turn 1?
It just felt like Max slammed on the brakes there because I was already on the brakes getting into that corner, and I had to jam them on to keep from hitting them, and just with my brake bias set up the way it is, it just spun out on me, and unfortunately somebody drilled me in the left door, or left front, so my night's pretty much over.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of damage done to that Patriots machine out there. The front end all tore up. The rear end of that truck looks great, but that really doesn't matter if you can't get the truck to go.
Yeah, it's definitely down on power. It's not going to run very good.
But now
Only chance I get is a lot of cautions.
You talk about down on power here. You're still running 10th, still on the lead lap, but this is a short track. How much power do you really need to get down that front stretch versus trying to get through the corner?
Yeah, it's not going to be a big deal in the corners, but down the front stretch, I bet you, I'm going to be probably 5, 6, 7 seconds off. It's going to be terrible. So, well, it is what it is. And next week. We'll have to come back and I'll get you on next week.
Well, there you heard it from the 88 is Sean Butler. He's going to try and make the 88 go, but there's a lot of damage, and the truck is down on power for the time being. He's down pit road to try and get a little more damage fixed as he'll come back off. He'll rejoin the race here. But let's take a peek back up front. It's going to be Max Terriot, Richard Murdoch, Joshua Buckley, and Patrick Orr, the front 4 drivers here to go back to green flag racing. Lights on that pace car are off. We are now officially 1 quarter into this event here from ISM Raceway for the round 1 of the playoffs. Pace car is down and away. Here we go. Once again, the green flag is waving. We are back under the loud pedal. You see, it looks like the field is pretty much shrunk just in half, as it actually has a lot of early cautions here. Is down into turn 1, though. Max Terriot going to get the position. He'll clear the 01 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch, though, now going to have to battle with the number 2. Is actually Murdoch got a great run off turn number 2. Murdoch with a great run through 1, through 2, but in 3 he kind of lost it in all 4. Max Terriot going to complete the pass officially as we go 1 lap back to green flag racing. Look at the 01 right there on the back bumper of the 42, just about giving him a nudge down into 1. He had to release, and while that allowed the 42 and Terriot to get a little bit of an advantage, about half a truck-like gap between the front 2. So a handful of laps here. Everybody's starting to string out except your top 3. They are your closest 3 on the track, except for this little bit of a battle right here. Tim Blum is looking to the inside on the 81 here of Orr, who's going to have the advantage out of turn 2. It is the number 10 here of Tim Blum over Patrick Orr. Orr way up the track in 3 and 4. He's going to have to give Tim Blum the room, but here comes the 81 with the momentum off that top side, making that straightaway a little bit longer. Remember, the 81 does have a little damage there on that right front. That could play havoc on him on his straightaway speed, which could have been why Tim Blum was able to get around him. Scouting way down there on the apron, trying to kind of cut that back corner there. He'll get around the 81 here of Orr also. Looks like another driver taking it to the shed here tonight. TD in that 983, his first appearance. Going to end up with a DNF. That's not the way you want to have an appearance here tonight, but had a fast truck out there, and so does Ethan Troutman. You see him way down there on the bottom in that Ream Chevy. 962 right now shown in your 6th spot. It seems like a 2-truck breakaway at the front of this one, though. Max Terriot, Richard Murdoch have opened up about almost a second gap over Joshua Buckley there into the corner in turn 1. You see 2 different lines being run between the 42 and the 01. Side-by-side action until we go all the way back here. Patrick Orr is still dropping positions. He's dropped all the way back to the 8th, but how about the 2 in front of them? They almost made contact off turn number 4. That's Brandon Minto and Christopher Rothrock. Rothrock to the inside there. Brandon Minto trying to make the outside lane work here. We haven't really seen anybody except for on the initial restart go around the outside on anybody. As there you see Christopher Rothrock going to complete the pass, but he drifts up. Can Minto come back here and cross him over coming out of turn number 4? He'll be right on that back bumper as we head down into 1. Looks like the 20 of Minto washes out there. Patrick War going to come to the inside. This is the battle all the way back here. This is the battle for 9th and 8th position as Sean Butler is about 6 seconds behind this group of drivers. As there goes Orr right back around Minto. These guys are just swapping it back and forth. Caution flag out on the raceway. It might involve Joe Strano. We'll have to take the replay back here and look, as I believe it does involve Joe Strano as we see him coming down here into turn number 1. Oh, it looks like the motor grenades. Joe Strano drops it down off the racing surface. But I believe iRacing is going to bring out a caution flag for that one. So the caution flag being for Joe Strano, losing a motor here on lap 36. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right here to bring you more racing for the Red Light Scrambler Series, round 1 of the playoffs. Did you die?
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. Three, 2, 1, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Welcome back here to ISM. Round 1 for the Red Light Scrambler Series here on your Turn 3 Racing Network. The lights are out on the pace car. Max Terriel did win the race off pit road, followed by Richard Murdoch, Joshua Buckley, Tim Blum now all the way from way back in the field up to running in your 4th spot. James Skelton is fifth, with Christopher Rothrock sitting there in sixth. Patrick Orr is seventh. Ethan Troutman eighth. Ninth goes to Minto, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be Sean Butler. 10 laps down, still out there running over 12 positions. Ryan Dan, while the pace car is about to duck in. There you see the pace car make the left-hand turn. The field is now in the hands there of the 42 of Terriall. Green flag waving here. As you see them all coming up through the gears, down or starting in second, third, and fourth gear by the time you hit into turn number 1. 42 Terriall going to get away, but then it's going to put the battle here for Josh Buckley and Richard Murdoch.
Yeah, that top line just didn't seem to want to go on that restart. 0-1 lost position, but looks like he's getting it back on the outside coming off the 4.
We talked about how we haven't seen really the outside lane come in, that you're able to make moves or passes. Oh, contact about mid-pack. I believe that was the 86 of James Skelton. Actually went for one heck of a ride. We're going to have to throw it back here on this one. Didn't catch it live. We caught it out the corner of the eye. We'll go over top of these drivers here and see what happened. That's the 84 of Christopher Rothrock and James Skelton getting together here down the front stretch into turn number 1. There you see the 84 of Skelton to the outside. What happens once they get down here into 1? Looks like maybe Skelton comes up the track just a little bit. He's going to find the outside catch fence as he's up and over, and that motor expired on the 86 machine. That is not how you want to end that one out here tonight, as I believe he'll have to take that machine for substantial repairs here. But Christopher Rothrock going to be able to carry on. So just about to the halfway marker, we're going to get another quick yellow flag here. Max Terriall, you're probably going to see these guys. This could be a last pit stop the way things are going, Jared.
Yeah, it definitely could, Roger. We'll have to see how this pans out here.
Well, Cotton, do you think there's going to be any strategy plays as we see actually your leaders do pass pit road? A handful of them actually back there electing to come in. I believe that's going to be Ethan Troutman and Brandon Minto. So it's not a bad play here by Minto or Troutman to bring those two machines down pit road. Only 10 drivers, now 9 drivers actually on the lead lap. So if they go down, they put 4 fresh tires on and pack them with fuel. If we get a green flag stent here till the end of this one with with how many drivers we have out of this one already, these two drivers could be sitting pretty.
Absolutely, they could find themselves right back in this thing.
So let's see, it's Max Terriall, Richard Murdoch, Joshua Buckley, Tim Blum, Christopher Rothrock stays out. He was wrapped up in that little incident right there. Patrick Orr, Sean Butler, who has heavy damage on the 88. He was just back down pit road. Ethan Troutman and Brandon Minto round out your top 9. James Skelton does sit there on pit road, and Ryan O'Danny is still out there. But right now he's down pit road getting some damage fixed. Looks like James Skelton has retired that 86 machine here tonight. He'll take it to the house, and he'll try again next week. Next week, round 2 of the playoffs right here at your Turn 3 Racing Network. You'll be able to catch on Monday night. They're going to head here from the ISM 1-mile track all the way over to Texas to a 1.5-mile track. It's going to be a whole different ball game next week. I know a lot of these guys are probably really looking forward to, at this point, getting off this little short track.
Oh, I know I'm definitely looking forward to Texas next week. That is a very fast 1.5-mile track. Should be a good show with these Xfinity cars.
Yeah, Xfinity cars coming to you next week for, it's still technically round 1 of the playoffs, but it's the second race in round number 1 of the playoffs. After next week's race, we're going to cut 2 guys out of the playoffs. So a lot of these guys, like Eric Johnson, who had to take it to the house early here tonight, and possibly Ryan O'Danny, who is down into pit road once again. Both those drivers, or actually Ryan did not make the cut. Sorry, he missed it by just a hair, as he does retire that machine also. But for drivers like Eric Johnson, who did make the playoffs and retired early here, I'm sure they're looking forward to getting back to a track where they can kind of spread out and get away from each other. Looking through those standings, it looks like Todd Cray made the playoffs but did not make the race here tonight. So that'll really put him at an even worse advantage than the 33 of Eric Johnson. Kyle Souza, who's in your playoff bracket, is right now 19th on pit road. He's been there for the last 26 minutes as he was wrapped up on that early incident, losing the motor to the number 4. So I'm sure he's out there kind of just sitting, waiting for them guys to put a new motor in that number 4 so he can come back out here and bang out a couple laps and possibly pick up, actually, if he just turns about 4 laps, he'll pick up a handful of positions to be inside the top 15. Green flag out, though. Pace car down and away. Max Terriot going to bring us back to racing down into turn 1. Terriot with another great start here on a restart. Richard Murdoch still battling it out with that number 2.
Yeah, that top lane seemed to get a little bit better of a restart, but still nothing like that bottom lane.
Yeah, the bottom lane really seems to have a lot of grip here at ISM here tonight. But how about that second groove in 3 and 4? Look at that 01 hanging out there. And he's going to clear Josh Buckley once again. That's 2 restarts in a row where we've seen, yes, obviously the 42, he's the control car. He gets a great start. And then Murdoch and Buckley go side by side. And, well, Murdoch once again makes the outside lane work so he can take away the second position. And now look at him close onto the back bumper here on the number 2, or on the 42.
Yeah, and behind them, the number 10 of Tim Blum is closing in on number 2 for 3rd spot.
Yeah, Tim Blum just slowly making his way towards the front. We're just about at the halfway point. Now Tim Blum has a chance as he finds himself inside the top 5, running in your 4th spot. Remember a handful of laps ago when this 88 of Sean Butler, though, was wrapped up in an incident and he thought his night was just about over. He was going to be that much slower. Right now, he is sitting 3 seconds behind your leader, but he's only about a half second behind that number 20 there, the 8th place runner, Brandon Minto. So he's still out here, and he actually picked up 2 positions by not taking the 88 to the house tonight. So longevity, just trying to stay out there could net him a couple positions here tonight.
That's right. With these playoffs, every point matters. You never know what will happen week to week.
You never know what's going to happen, but right now, does Patrick Orr have what it takes to go up there and take away that 6th position from Christopher Rothrock? Just a moment ago, he was just about underneath that 84, then he got sideways himself and had to back out of it. So that allowed Christopher Rothrock to start to pull away a little bit. The man who came down pit road, though, that man that's right in front of Rothrock, that's Troutman. Eric Troutman here in the 962. That Ream Chevy, he went down pit road. He went down pit road, and he actually has the fresher tires.
We got to change to the lead up front here, Roger. The 01 getting under the 42, coming off of 4.
Yeah, you saw just the end of that one there. Terriot slipping up the track just a little bit. Murdoch's shoving the nose of the 01 in there. And actually now here it looks like here comes Tim Blum. He looked for a moment like he was going to dive off turn number 1 there, go to the inside on Joshua Buckley. So a new leader here at the halfway point. That's going to be Richard Murdoch as you see him come out of turn 4. Nobody's side by side. Everybody kind of just nose to tail. Two trucks at the front, 2 trucks right behind them, and then a little bit of a break. Look at everybody running a different line through 1.
That's right, and that 962 sitting in 5th spot right now is really reeling in these leaders.
Yeah, last time by actually about 0.2 of a second quicker than the leader of Richard Murdoch. So those tires that are 6 laps newer could play a factor here tonight. Now at this point, though, if you were Troutman, would you sit back there? Now your leader's right out there in front. You know he's on older tires. Yes, you're quicker right now. But if you sit there in the draft, yes, it's a short track, but the straightaways still have some good distance to them. You can save a little fuel if you're this 962 here at Troutman and try and save a little bit. Remember, all your other leaders, they will definitely have to pit at least one more time.
That's right. He could definitely play the fuel strategy game here.
So it's a 5-truck breakaway to the front here. They have about a 1.5 second lead over this group of trucks back here. That's Patrick Orr, Brandon Minto, and Christopher Rothrock, 6th through 8th positions back here. And then another 3 seconds back, you find that guy back there with the deflated tires on the Patriot machine. Out front, still Richard Murdoch clicking off laps here. He's now been out front for the last 6 laps of this event, but Terriot not really going away. He's just sitting right back there about a car length or a truck length and a half back. Remember when we talked to Richard Murdoch earlier in the race here, has only 2 finishes outside the top 10 all season long. 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, he had a 11th place finish. That was one of his 2 races outside the top 10. Another one was all the way back at Talladega, and Talladega, it's pretty much anybody's game, and it just wasn't his game back at Talladega. But Max Terriot sitting right there, not letting Murdoch run away. It's kind of, they're actually starting to pull away about a half second now over Joshua Buckley, who's sitting right there in 3rd. Through turn number 2, the dog leg. Oh, it looked like Terriot was going to go to the inside. Oh, contact for your leaders. Both leaders into the wall in turns 3 and 4. Looked like Max Terriot was trying to make the move on Richard Murdoch, and the contact kind of ensued there. Let's take it back. 2 of your leaders going for a spin. Sometimes how things change quickly here on the replay. Let's watch as the 42 gets a great run off turn 1. He goes to the outside on Murdoch coming through turn 2. Murdoch comes back up the track. Terriot turns it dead left, and then maybe just a little net code, but still contact ensues right there. And both drivers now going to have heavy contact, both rear ends of those Silverados. So as that all transpired and happened there in front of the field, that's now going to hand it over to Josh Buckley, Tim Blum. Murdoch's still going to be shown sitting in, I think. Actually, it looks like they might be giving Murdoch back position 1. So it's interesting to see where iRacing is going to score all your drivers. Down pit road, it looks like everybody's coming at this point. You're going to be able to make it on fuel. Yeah, we were estimating about 35 to 40 possible laps under green flag conditions. As you see everybody down pit road here. We're going to have under 40 laps to go once we go back green flag racing. 42 laps right now, it's telling us. Looks like Tim Blum is done with his service, but having that number 1 pit stall here for Richard Murdoch is going to play benefits for him. He'll be out first, followed by Josh Buckley, Tim Blum, Ethan Troutman, Patrick Orr, Christopher Rothrock, Brandon Minto, Sean Butler, Max Terriot still sitting on pit road trying to get damage fixed on that 42 machine.
You know, Roger, I'm not so sure that just that rear end damage is going to hurt the 01 of Murdoch here.
Yeah, let's take a closer look here on Richard Murdoch's car if we can find that camera angle for you. There's the rear end. And, well, it's pretty beat up on the rear end, but take a look at this nose, and his nose looks pretty clean on that truck, so I don't think it's going to really play too much or give him too many issues or anything like that out here tonight. It just shows you how hard these guys are racing out there. It wasn't a lot of room going down into turn 3 and both your leaders going around, but Murdoch somehow getting the lucky card, and he'll hang on to the lead here. Max Terriot, though, is back out on track. You see him trying to get back up to speed. He might have a little right front damage from the contact that kind of transpired out there, but I think he'll still be all right compared to the 88 of Sean Butler. Terriot going to catch the rear of the field here. Lights are still on the pace car. Once again, it's going to be Murdoch, Buckley, Blum, Troutman, your top 4. Or then Rothrock, Minto, Terriot, and Butler down pit road. Kyle Souza, how about an update on driver of the number 4? Souza back out there on track. He's actually already picked up 2 positions since coming back out, and this time by he'll pick up another, so now he's in 16th. And if he can just be out there for about another 4 laps, he'll pick up Tony Shrano's position in 15th, and then he has to go another 2 laps. So he's got a lot of laps here, and he could actually, I believe, break into the top 10 if he can keep that truck out there.
Yeah, after the night he's had, I'm sure top 10 would feel like a win to him.
At this point, I think just getting that 4 nationwide machine back out there could feel like a win. But we're going to see here in just a moment how the 01 here, Richard Murdoch, handles that damage when he goes down into turn 1 under full song and dance, because he's going to have Josh Buckley right there to his outside of Tim Blum. If either of these two on the front row slip up, Tim Blum's going to be right there. How about Troutman's coming through the field like a bandit?
Yeah, Troutman's got a fast hot rod right now.
Pace car down and away, though, and the green flag is back out. There you see Souza. He's going to pull down. He knows he's under power, so he'll let the field go by him. But down into one, we're going to go side by side with a dry race. Looks like that 0-1 still pretty good, but here comes the number 10 of Tim Blum. Going down into one, it looked like Troutman just kind of lost the nose on that 962. He went up the track, and he's kind of now in a hornet's nest. Here comes Patrick Orr to the inside in turn 3 and 4. All three, there goes side by side. The momentum factor going to go to Troutman. As down into one, he didn't quite clear him, so the 81 of Orr going to stick the nose once again. It looks like Ethan missed the corner once again, so Patrick Orr going to get a good run off turn 1. So Troutman still stuck to the outside here. Here comes Christopher Rothrock now. Rothrock trying to take a top 5 position away from Troutman. Off, almost contact coming off turn number 4 between those two drivers. Rothrock trying to take the inside advantage, and he slid just a little bit up into Troutman. 2 different lines that time. Rothrock going to miss turn number 1, so that's going to allow Troutman to kind of get away. Still on the back bumper there. That Snickers machine, that's Patrick Orr running 4th.
Looks like Troutman's going to try it down into 3. And no, he just can't get him coming out of 4. Gets a little loose coming out of 4.
Can't keep the momentum down there for Troutman in that 962 machine. You get down to the bottom on somebody, but that's a whole nother factor once you got to try and actually pass him to put the power down. He gets another great run out of turn 1. He'll suck up right almost to the back bumper here on the 81 as they enter turn 3 again. Turn 3 this time, though, Ethan Troutman going to kind of follow in the tire tracks here of the 81 of Patrick Orr. He'll probably try to set him up once again as he's right on that back bumper still.
Yeah, he's definitely not letting him go. I'm sure he's going to try to set something up here.
There, looks like that Troutman machine's able to get a better turn off turn 1. He throws it way down there in the dog leg, trying to cut the track as short as he can. This is your closest battle on track. Everybody else in front of these guys, still Richard Murdoch, still Tim Blum, still Buckley, and this is the battle for the 4th and 5th spot.
Tim Blum is starting to run down Murdoch, though. And he's bringing Buckley with him.
Yeah, the question was, once Murdoch got out in front, though, was he going to be able to hang on to that lead? Right now, though, it's about 2.5 cars back here off the back bumper of the 01 of Murdoch. This time by, we're going to see 33 laps to go here. Still got 9 drivers out there on your lead lap. Sean Butler is actually in front of Max Terriot, so Sean Butler is being credited right now with an 8th place finish.
Tim Blum just shaved a 10th off that last lap. He is reeling in Murdoch.
There you see 2 different lines as they enter turn 3. It looks like Tim Blum going a little bit higher and then cutting the truck down there right to that yellow line, as Richard Murdoch taking more of that safer line, running right down there on that yellow line. As there you can really tell, look at the gap now, it's just about gone, maybe about a bumper, 2 bumpers back here for Tim Blum. That time by, though, going into turn 3, there you can see the 01 of Murdoch pull away just a little bit. So he's going to have a little bit of breathing room. Everybody else, single file still.
Yeah, Murdoch pulls on Blum coming out of 4, but Blum sucks right back up to him coming into 1.
There it is. It looks like the 10 of Tim Blum that time got a good run off turn 1 into turn 2. The question is, can he get that power back down? Murdoch once again down on the bottom groove there in 3 and 4, with Tim Blum electing to run the outer. Yeah, we're all at about the lane and a half out. Still nose to tail, still Murdoch that time by into 3 once again. Then it's Buckley, Orr, and Ethan Troutman sitting in your 5th spot. Rothrock has not been able to rebound after that little bit of slip off turn number 4. And then just a little bit farther back, going to be the 20 here, last week's pole setter of Brandon Minto. Sean Butler sitting just about a second back behind the Minto machine, running an 8th, and then it's about 5 seconds back till you can find that 42. It didn't look like there was that hard of contact with the 42 when he went around with Richard Murdoch, but it really seems like it knocked the speed out of the 42's truck.
Yeah, he must have caught that just right with the front end just to take enough speed out of that truck.
Yeah, right now sitting about 11, 12 seconds back off your leaders. And your leaders, well, they're all nose to tail. 3 of them now nose to tail.
Now, if you were Blum, what would you do right now? Is it too early to make the pass, or would you sit there and wait and pick your spot?
I don't think Tim Blum is really trying to sit here and wait for Murdoch to really make a mistake, because Josh Buckley is sitting right there. It's a 3-truck race at this point. We're going to see 25 to go here in just a handful of laps, so only a quarter left of this event here. You know you can make it the rest of the way. So the question is, when can he make it? He's not laying back at this point. He can't with Buckley right there.
Oh, absolutely not. He's going to have to pick a spot, though. I think his best spot is where he really gains on him is down into 1. But can he get close enough to be able to shove the nose under to get under him?
And then you got to ask yourself, you have 2 teammates up here also. You got Buckley and Murdoch as teammates. They're probably not going to run each other or want to run each other as hard as they have to just yet. There's still a handful of laps. They're going to click off fast here as next time by, we're actually going to see the 25 to go marker. As you see, look at that. 3 different drivers, 3 different lines. But now right behind them guys, right? That's going to be Troutman. Look at him. He's caught the back bumper of the 81 here at Patrick Orr, and he's going to look to the inside here down into turn number 1.
Yeah, he's going to try to stick the nose in. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the run. Oh, he comes side by side with him. Comes through the dog leg.
Side by side through the dog leg, turn number 2 there. Troutman still to the inside on Patrick Orr. This time he might complete it. Looked like Orr kind of went up the track a little bit farther than he had to. But it doesn't look like Troutman's going to be able to put the power down. Orr's going to get a great run off turn number 4. Side by side at the line. Now looks like Orr with a nose down into turn number 1.
Yeah, Troutman's not letting him get that inside, though. He's sticking right with him. He might be able to clear him coming through the dog leg.
Coming through the dog leg there. Troutman really down to that inside lane, but he's not going to be able to come back out and clear that Orr machine. But Orr, now it looks like Troutman might be clear. So there was the pass for the 4th position. Eric Troutman going to take away the 4th position from Patrick Orr. Let's take a look back out front here because it's still a 3-truck breakaway. Richard Murdoch started to pull away just a little bit. Looks like about a 3-car length gap back to the number 10 of Blum. And then Buckley is sitting right on the number 10's bumper.
Yeah, looks like the 01 pulled away a little bit. Let's see if Blum can reel him back in here.
This time by, we're going to see the 22 laps to go. They're clicking off faster than you can really think about it. Richard Murdoch, Tim Blum, Josh Buckley, Ethan Troutman. Now that Troutman's got the 4th position and clean track ahead of him, he sits right now 1.8 seconds off the back bumper of Josh Buckley. The question is, can he catch him? Does he even have enough time at this point? 21 to go this time by.
Yeah, he's going to have to put in some pretty good laps here to catch him in this amount of time.
Ethan Troutman is one of your playoff drivers. He did win a race back at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Started 7th in that event, and he actually led 13 laps to finish that race as he came home P1. The week before that, it was at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and he started 7th once again there and finished 2nd, so he has a handful of top 5 finishes throughout the season. And now maybe he can get himself a 3rd place if he can just catch Josh Buckley, and it looks like that gap is actually starting to come down just a little bit. Now it's a 1.5 second gap back to Josh, or ahead of him to Josh Buckley.
Yeah, he's definitely reeling them in, but also Tim Blum is starting to reel in Murdoch.
As we take a peek back here, it's still about the same distance though between all 3 of these top 3 drivers. Murdoch down into turn number 1 along with Blum and Buckley once again. Still nose to tail at the front of this one. Max Terriot still hanging on to the 9th position on the lead lap. Let's take a quick peek back to where Kyle Souza is, though. Souza's out there on track, and right now he's shown 8th. He needs, I believe it's 6 more laps, and he'll actually have a top 10 spot as he could pass James Skelton. Back to the front action here for your top 3. You look at Tim Blum as he slid. Now he's actually going to be onto the back bumper here. What's going to happen when he goes into 3? He's going to let Richard Murdoch have the lead for the time being. He let Murdoch go. We're going to see 17 laps to go here, and it's a 3-truck battle for the win here for the round 1 of the playoffs. tick top as the laps click off. Look at that run that time that Tim Blum got out of turn 1. He's going to be to the outside here on Richard Murdoch as they enter turn 3. Can he make the outside lane work? Because here comes Buckley. Buckley going to fill the hole to the inside. 3 trucks, 3 lanes, turns 3 and 4 onto the front stretch we go. Looks like Tim Blum lost a lot of ground there to the outside in turns 3 and 4 because now he's side by side. And look at that. 962 Troutman now under a second to your leader. This is going to be a 4-truck battle here to the end of this race as Troutman now sitting under a second back. You see that Ream red and black truck just behind Buckley. He is on the move, and he is coming with a head of steam.
Yes, he is definitely in the gas.
So it's Murdoch, Plum, Buckley, Troutman, Minto, Rothrock, Orr. Or actually, Orr's down pit road. Something may have happened to Patrick Orr as he's bringing the Snickers machine down pit road. Sean Butler sitting now in 7th. Orr's going to be shown in 9th here in just a second because Max Terriot is coming, and he's going to pass him right now. So now Butler to 7th, Terriot to 8th, Orr now back to 9th. Back to the front action.
Throw a blanket over the top 4.
Yeah, here comes Ethan Troutman as he keeps going down there below that dog leg to try and shorten it up. He'll go side by side with Josh Buckley down into 3. And it looks like once again Tim Blum tried to go to the outside that time in turn 3. Couldn't make it work. Cuts it down. Can he get the momentum down the front stretch? Buckley going to retain the 3rd position, though. Everybody single files out once again. Here comes that driver, Ethan Troutman. He ducks below the yellow line again through the dogleg. He'll throw it into the corner once again, trying to fill the hole for Josh Buckley. But as they go too wide for the 3rd position, Tim Blum slid up that time going into turn 3. That means Buckley couldn't go where he wanted to. Now Ethan Troutman has the inside advantage here on Josh Buckley. He'll take over the 3rd spot down in turn 1.
And there goes Troutman diving down the inside. He's going to try the same move on Blum.
Yeah, he has that inside advantage once again.
Oh, can he make it stick coming out of 4?
It gets real tight off turn number 4. Not enough grip down to that low line there for Troutman. So he'll run 3rd, and we still got 11 laps to go here in this one.
Let's see if Troutman can make it stick this time and come through the dogleg, and Blum goes down to the dogleg.
Something happened to Richard Murdoch that time by, because now taking a look at the timing and score. We didn't actually see it live on the screen, but now it's Tim Blum, Ethan Troutman. Richard Murdoch got loose there going through turn 2. He loses 2 positions.
Well, you wonder if that damage is starting to catch up to Murdoch with these long runs.
Long run putting a lot of stress on the tires there for the 01 as Murdoch now finds himself sitting 3rd. And there's a huge gap. Maybe they are looking at the fuel ratio and realizing they might not make it because look at how much ground Tim Blum and Ethan Troutman have already put on the 01 of Murdoch. It's a whole second gap in under a lap. There's a 2-second gap, a little over a 2-second gap all the way back to Josh Buckley. Remember, he was just running 3rd 2 laps ago.
Yeah, you could definitely throw a blanket over these 4 drivers a few laps ago, and now it's really spread out. Blum and Troutman have really opened up the gap on Murdoch and Buckley.
Remember, 40 laps is about a fuel run with these trucks. They've already been out there for 34 laps. Actually, Brandon Minto actually has probably the best fuel strategy right now. He's 2 laps to the good, it looks like. Just trying to quickly run the math through the old noggin here. Brandon Minto been out there for 32 laps. That would put him right at 40 laps of fuel to finish this one out. Maybe that was the reason that Patrick Orr came down to pit road. Remember, a handful of laps ago. He's shown right now 1 lap down. Max Terriot right in front of your leaders here. He looks like he could possibly go a lap down here in the late going. Not exactly the run, the 42 one. He was out front for 34 laps here tonight, but not going to come away with the result that he'd like. It's still going to be a top 10 finish, but not a top 5.
Yeah, I'm sure he was really looking to back up that win from last week at Pocono.
Yeah, as we talk about Tim Blum now as he works to the inside here on Max Terriot. Take a look at the timing and scoring. Ethan Troutman now has started to back down Oh, he's way out of the groove in turn 1. He was starting to back it down, and Richard Murdoch now actually going to catch him completely, and he's going to dive to the inside here as they go down into 3. It's a fuel strategy race at this point. You hear the drivers way out of the throttle as they come into the third turn.
Also makes you think, did he use up his equipment running that hard to drive these leaders down?
Yeah, remember, he was way back on the restart. He was, if I remember right, 7th on that restart. Now he's up to 2nd, and he ran down the leaders pretty quick. Like, they were sitting still. 5 laps to go. Right now, Blum has a 1.5-second lead over Ethan Troutman and Richard Murdoch as both those drivers battling it out here. Remember, though, Troutman's been cutting that dog leg just about every lap, so that's going to shave off a little bit of distance that he's having to run as he's down there babying it down on the bottom of the track. Here comes Murdoch to the outside. What's going to transpire when we go into 1? It looks like Murdoch going to stay to the outside here. Troutman going to fight back just a little bit out of turn number 1.
Let's see if Troutman will try his move. Nope, Murdoch shuts the door.
So as these guys battle, they are about 2 seconds back now behind Tim Blum. Could Blum be out there playing a cat and mouse game with himself? Maybe he's trying the strategy of, let me just get out as far ahead of these guys as I can, and then if I have to coast to finish out the last lap and a half, I can do that. So 3 laps to go this time by for Tim Blum. It still looks like it's about a 2-second. Actually, Richard Murdoch just a little bit under that, about a 1.5 seconds now, actually. I think he's on the loud pedal pretty hard trying to run back down Tim Blum. There you see a little bit sideways for Tim Blum that time off the corner as he extended the lead now over Richard Murdoch. And, well, here comes Troutman once again. He's going to dive it to the inside. Maybe he saved enough fuel now, and he can fight back under the 01 machine down in turn 1. He'll fight back. He'll cut the dog leg. He'll go to the inside here on the 01 of Murdoch. What's going to happen when they get to the lap down truck here in the 42? Troutman going to take the position. So that's the battle for 2nd on your timing and scoring. But that man out front, Tim Blum, already took the white flag. 1 more lap here from ISM. Who's going to win it? Blum has a 2-second lead over these guys, and they're still battling it out. That time, Troutman going to blow turn 1. Murdoch going to get to the inside on him, so Murdoch's going to go P2. We're going to watch this battle right here to the end. He's working through 3 and 4 for the final time. Blum's going to see the checkered flag in the air. Oh, almost contact. Troutman almost got to the back bumper there with the 01 of Murdoch, but he hit the brakes. That's going to allow Richard Murdoch to come home P2. Troutman's going to come home 3rd. Brandon Minto actually is going to beat Joshua Buckley to the line. It looks like Buckley actually ran out of fuel coming out of turn number 4. Brandon Minto will come back for a 4th place finish. How about Sean Butler just staying out there and running laps? He's going to come home 6th here tonight with Christopher Rothrock 7th. Max Terriol is 8th with Patrick Ward 9th. Kyle Souza, how about that, man? He never gave up here tonight, comes home with a top 10 finish. But your winner here today is going to be the number 10 here of Tim Blum. So he'll gain the most points here tonight. He'll lock himself in to the next round of the playoffs. We're going to step away here for just a moment. We're going to see if we can get a word in with your top 3 finishers here tonight as Tim Blum burns them down here from ISM. Welcome back to the ISM Raceway, the Red Light Scrambler Series. Round 1 of the playoffs here are in the books. We did 100 laps here at the beginning of the race. A little bit rough, but a lot of these drivers settled down here to try and get the long runs in tonight. I've caught up with your third place finisher, though, here. Third place tonight going to be the 962. One of the rookies, Ethan Troutman. Ethan had a really fast truck there. You started actually in your 4th position. You fell all the way back to 12th at one point, but worked your way through the field.
Yeah, that first caution there, I decided to pit, even though it was only a couple laps, for 2 reasons. I wanted to see where my pit stall was, and, as we saw, it came down to fuel, and I just wanted to get that couple extra laps in the tank in case we kept it green. It did get caution filled there, but it still ended up being a fuel mileage run.
Yeah, fuel mileage run it really came down to. Tell us about that final restart. I believe we went back racing there with about 41 laps to go in the event. Did you know you had enough fuel when we went back green flag racing then?
No, I wasn't sure what a full load would end up being under race conditions, so I just pushed it there to try to catch the leaders. And once I caught them, I kind of got suspicious of what was going on because I caught them pretty quick and then they started falling off. So I looked at my fuel. That's when I said I need to start saving. So I started saving with the 01. The 10 just kept going. I think he had a little bit extra in the tank. But I just thought if the 10 were to run out, it'd be between me and the 01. So I just tried to save at the same pace as he did.
Yeah, you guys had a good battle there in the last 5 laps. You swapped it back and forth a handful of times. Turn 1 seemed to be a little bit of a trouble spot for you here tonight.
On restarts, turn 1 was something else for me. I can't figure that out for anything for a restart. But I felt like once we got on some old tires, I could kind of make a little ground through there. But yeah, there at the end, we were saving. I let off way early, and the 01 kind of got into the back of me there. That wasn't his fault. That was just my fault for letting off early with, of course, us racing there with like maybe 2 or 3 to go.
Yeah, so it's hard-nosed racing here at the little short track from ISM Raceway. It was only a mile-length track here tonight. Next week, it's a whole new ball game for... It's still the first round of the playoffs, but it's the second race in round 1 of the playoffs. We're going to head over to Phoenix. Or not Phoenix. We're here at ISM Phoenix. We're going to head over to Texas, a 1.5 mile track. How do you feel about going over there and hopping in the Xfinity car next week?
The Xfinity cars are tough. Between all 3 series, those are probably the toughest. And Texas, a 1.5 mile track, it can really eat your stuff up. So, yeah, I think I'd rather run at Phoenix again next week.
Well, Ethan Troutman right here not looking forward to heading to Texas next week. But Ethan, before we kind of let you go out of the booth here, who do you got to give a shout out here that helps you out on the 962?
Everybody who's watching, be that for me or for the stream in general, and to you guys for giving us a good broadcast.
Well, there you heard it from Ethan Troutman. He finishes 3rd here tonight, had a good run, fell back to 12th at one point, but battled all the way back for a 2nd place finish. I believe, Jarrett, you have caught up with your 2nd place finisher here tonight.
Yes, I am here with the 01 of Richard Murdoch, our 2nd place finisher. Richard, after you got in that accident, did you think you still had a truck to win?
I wasn't sure at first. Once we went back green, I got a couple laps in. I knew my truck was okay. I didn't really feel any difference, so it definitely it calmed me down after a few laps of still running and good laps.
Now, when did you know it was going to become a fuel mileage race?
At the drop of that last green flag, if we went green the whole way, I knew it was going to be fuel mileage. My teammates at Full Throttle Racing and I, we did a little bit of practicing this week, and we knew we had about 40 laps on a full tank, and we took the caution, I think, with like 41 or 2 to go. So I was cutting it off during the caution, doing everything I could, and yeah, it was tough. And Tim did the best fuel saving, so good on him for the win and for Full Throttle Racing.
And yes, and you also did a very good job saving fuel with the 2nd place finish, and you also led the most laps tonight.
Yeah, I was confident coming into this race. I know I'm pretty fast here. My biggest struggle at any track really is tire conservation. So I practiced that a lot, and as sad as it sounds, when Sean kind of got wrecked, I knew I really had a shot then, and Max and I had some good racing, and I was able to get ahead of him and stay out front for a while. And then unfortunately, coming down the fuel mileage, I had to save a little bit more than Tim did at the end.
Well, it definitely was some great racing. Who would you like to thank tonight?
My teammates at Full Throttle Racing, Tim, Brandon, and Ryan, for just all the work they put in and us sharing notes. My Uncle Steve, he's watching right now. Appreciate you tuning in. My buddy Sam, he couldn't be here tonight. He's flying back home. But my friends out in Colorado, Katie and Jeremy, appreciate you watching. And my buddy here in Charleston, Walter Cooper, appreciate you tuning in and watching me race and supporting me on this.
All right. Well, congratulations on your second place finish. Hope you're ready for Texas next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well,
Roger?
that was Richard Murdoch in the 01 machine leading the most laps, coming home P number 2 here tonight. But I also got caught up with his teammate here, the number 10 of Tim Blum. Tim, you started way towards the back of the field tonight. What happened in qualifying that you had to start 18th?
Hey guys, oh man, I had a terrible qualifying lap. I hit the wall out of 4, and in iRacing that won't count your lap if you touch the wall. So I tried to slam on the brakes, but I crossed the line, so none of my laps counted. So 17th for me.
Not getting a qualifying time, and really didn't seem to hurt yourself, though. You slowly made your way through the field here, and right around the little after the halfway point, we went back to green flag racing for the final time. You were tucked up right underneath the top 4 there. You were able to take that second place on the restart and kind of hung there. Were you just trying to wait and find out what Richard Murdoch still had in the tank, or was there communication between the two teams there?
Yeah, there was some talking between Richard and myself and Josh. We were really just trying to log some laps, and we finally got that run there at the end. And we thought there'd be one more caution and have to not worry about fuel. If that were the case, I think Josh and Richard were much better than me on the short run. But just the way it fell, I was trying to stay behind Richard, let him be the pacer, and watch as Josh and Ethan caught us, and I was just able to save every chance I got when I was off the gas. So eventually I saw Ethan coming, and I wanted to I knew he was going to challenge for the lead, so I stayed full throttle there on the backstretch and went past Sean or Richard, and ended up staying in the lead, and I was conserving to the very last lap.
Yeah, you had to conserve all the way to the end, but you were able to bring home the number 10 in victory lane. Not leading the most laps, not even close to leading the most laps. Only 11 laps led here for yourself tonight. But that's all you really need, and especially on that last one. Next week, like we asked a couple of the other guys, Texas, how do you feel about heading from this 1 mile track to the 1.5 mile track?
I think Ethan said it about the Xfinity cars. They're the toughest to keep under you, and Texas is going to be a challenge in that. It's a tough track. It wears tires. You got to run right close to the apron, and it really falls off the banking out of turn 2. So that wall's always out there to get you, especially with how tight the setups have been this season. So I'm glad I'm locked in next week, and I can just kind of ride around and see how I do.
Yeah, no pressure coming for the number 10 here, Tim Blum, next week, as he's found himself locked in to the next round of the playoffs with Texas coming up. But before we let you go, Tim, we're going to hand you the floor, hand you the microphone. Who do you need to give the shout-outs to help you on the 10?
Got a shout out to the team there, Full Throttle Racing. I think Brandon's having a rough day today. He's got his eyes are swollen shut or something like old Ricky Rudd there. But Ryan, he painted up my car, so we're all matching in flames. And Richard, he had the car tonight. He's had the car a few times, and I know he's going to get that win if he can just get if we can get a straightforward run there with no fuel or late race cautions or anything. So Full Throttle Racing, and thanks to you guys for the broadcast. I just got a video clip from my sister and my brother-in-law Josh and my niece Ainsley. They're all watching at home and cheering me on. So thanks to you guys.
Well, there you heard it from your winner here tonight, Jarrett Tim Blum, leading 11 laps, and it was the 11 laps that he needed to lead at the end of this event here. Was able to save fuel better than anybody after starting at the back of the field here tonight.
Absolutely. This was a great race. Great night of racing. Turned out to be a fuel mileage at the end. Tim Blum just outlasted everybody with fuel tank.
Yeah, Richard Murdoch and Ethan Troutman, though, putting on one heck of a show there in the final 5 laps of the event, battling it out, passing the second position back and forth. Richard Murdoch, though, able to outlast Ethan Troutman as Murdoch comes home P2. Troutman's going to finish in your 3rd spot. But how about Brandon Minto? He came down right when they got the 1-to-go marker before we went back green flag racing on that final stop. He was able to actually pass Josh Buckley as he came out of turn number 4. So Brandon Minto came home with 4th. Buckley was 5th. Sean Butler, even though being wrapped up in that accident right around the lap 30 marker, he stayed out there. He continued to stay on the lead lap, and with all the cautions, he was able to get some damage done and fixed to the number 88. He'll come home in the 6th spot. Christopher Rothrock, 7th. Max Theriault, after being wrapped up with Sean Butler there, he comes home 8th place. Just didn't have the speed after that contact. Patrick Orr, he's going to be the last, or one of the last drivers that were still out there running. He comes home in your 9th spot. How about Kyle Souza, though? He was out from the drop of the green flag. He was a handful of laps down, 57 at the end of this one, laps down, but he still finishes in your 10th spot. James Skelton is 11th. Joe Strano is 12th. Ryan O'Danny, though, with his Ricky Rudd-looking self, he comes home in your 13th spot. TD making his first start here with the Red Light Scrambler Series. He'll come home in the 14th spot. David Camara had a good run, just that yellow line down there in turn 1 bit him hard. He comes home 15th. Tony Strano got wrapped up in that one with David Camara. He comes home 16th. Eric Johnson also wrapped up, nowhere to go, along with Leo Bordage. That's 17th and 18th. Andy Lee in the 25 is 19th. And last but not least, rounding out the top 20, that's going to be the 909 of Jesse Baker. So it was short track action here tonight for the Red Light Scrambler Series at ISM. Next week, it's a whole new ball game. The second race of round number 1. It's going to be a cutoff race. We're going to cut a couple of these guys out of the playoffs next week at Texas International Raceway, or at Texas Motor Speedway, with the Xfinity car. You'll be able to catch all the action right here on your Turn 3 Racing Network. So for everybody at the Red Light Scrambler Series, Jarrett, we'd like to thank you for stepping up in the booth here tonight, helping us out. We'll catch you all next week, same time on Monday, right here on your Turn 3 Network.